My name is Gender Meowster, and I am 2 years and 1 month on testosterone. It's April 10th, 2023. So let's start with some beard progress. Check this out. This shenaniganery. So fluffy. Very fluffy. One of my favorite things is this is starting to grow in. I wish it was darker. It wasn't quite long enough to hold on to the beard dye the last time I dyed my beard, so it doesn't look like much of anything. But it's totally there. Do you see the little triangle? Right here. It's right there. And this is growing in more thickly. There's a bunch more that the dye didn't stick to that's here. So there's like a little bit of dark and then a bunch of blonde ones underneath. Fluffy AF. I know. I do have feelings about my hair because I am now pretty confident that I'm starting to have this hairline recede. Like this is getting thinner in here. And this, you know, I have feelings about it. I'm gonna enjoy it while I can, and I'm not yet at peace that I may one day just be rocking the no hair. Sounds cold. I have to live in hats forever. Um, that's what I get for also for living the first a lot of the dysphoria years also in a hat. Thankfully, I like wearing hats. Like I don't have sensory stuff with hats. My wife does, so if I were her, I would have a much harder time if I decided to live in hats. Um, but it was like I wore hats a lot when I had long hair, and I think honestly that was dysphoria. And then there's been this glorious like 10 years or so where I've been like out as like non-binary or lesbian or some butch something something that's not a cis like straight woman person. Um and so then I did the haircut and had, this, look at this. There's the handle on the back. That's a good time. Like it's a good haircut. Um and I have some grief around the possibility of losing this. So I've been using minoxidil to help this and the more traditional use of it instead of on my face to make my beard grow. I would still like this to fill in a bit more, but um, I do have good hats. I've got my non-binary pride beanie. I've got one with a little brown bill on it that's, knitted or whatever. That one's really warm. It keeps the rain off my face. It's because it, covers this part. And I could always look into, baseball caps or whatever. But it's hard to wear a hat and headphones. So not sure what to do about that on stream. Just for temperature regulation. Like eventually I'm gonna get over it and be okay with people seeing me with no hair there. But right now today I'm sad about it. Um, you know, 2 years and a month on T. I'm sad about it. My like therapist and I talked about it. Like that's how important this is to me. We like had a whole chat. My therapist is a trans man who is bald on this whole part of his head. This part still has hair. This part no hair. So anyway, but I mean, if I look at literally all the men on both sides of my family, all of them have some form of male pattern baldness. I don't think I'm escaping this fate. I don't think I'm that lucky. I don't think. So I just have some feelings about it. But I'm going to move on. So, content warning for some surgery discussion for the next little bit of my check-in. So I'm supposed to have my third bottom surgery consult with the same doctors this month, supposedly, but so there was a goof up. We met in March before my wife's surgery that she had, and it was supposed to be in person, but they booked me for an online appointment. And so it was like we met in January, we met in March, and then the March was supposed to be in person, and now we're meeting in either April or May. Except it's not on the books, so I'm actually not confident that because these two doctors only have a together day once a month, so that fills up fast. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll reach out to you, we'll schedule it." But part of me is like, okay, so maybe because I already had a second consult, their schedulers are thinking about it. I need to reach out to them, and it like is stressing me out to even tell you about it right now. But it was really demoralizing to show up for that consult, think we'd be done, and have them be like, "Oh no, we need you to come in person because we need to actually look at your bits." And I'm like, "Could I just have my wife hold my phone up and we can like show you things over the internet, like with gloves on?" I don't know. And they were like, "No." I was like, "Dang it." This is really disappointing. This particular clinic, they're in their first year of doing like trans surgeries as a together clinic. So all of their routines around how they manage their staff and scheduling and all of that is still new. And the other thing that's been frustrating with that is like when I went to have my hysterectomy, they wanted to schedule the surgery 2 weeks after we applied the first time for permission from the insurance company. And what I know from my top surgery is they denied me 3 times and it took 6 months to get approval. And so I said, look, like, you're giving surgery dates out way too soon. People are going to build their hopes up, get other people to buy plane tickets to come take care of them afterwards. And then we miss our surgery dates and have to reschedule and waste a ton of money and time off at work preparing for the wrong date. Like, this is actually really disruptive to your patients. You shouldn't do this. You need to give like a month or 2 or 3, not just 2 weeks. And so now they're doing 6 weeks instead of 2 after that conversation, and they've had their own enough experience on their own with that not going well. But like, I have feelings about it. I have feelings. But the doctors have said that although they're like practices within this is a really long check-in, I'm sorry. The practices within the office are like kind of disjointed. That's the word I'm going to use here. They have had only positive medical outcomes. So some of the like, oh, there's a 1% chance of this or that happening, kind of bad stuff that can go wrong. None of that has happened to any of their patients over the like whole, like it's almost been a year now, or maybe just a little, maybe it's been 13 months or something. I think the clinic itself started January of last year, but so that would make it a year and 4 months. I'm not sure. So anyways, so that's hopeful. But I also will say in general that I'm frustrated with the current bottom surgery options that exist for transmasculine people. Like, I wish that I could have body parts that look quote unquote right or cis that also retain the amount of sensation that body part would have on a natal male, if that makes sense. Because your options are get meta and retain your sensation, but have a very small neophallus, or have some version of phallo, which there's a bunch of different ones. I did hear about the single scar one, and that looks very interesting because they do the hair removal after they implant, and there's just one scar on your leg instead of grafting an entire piece of your body somewhere else, and that sounds very cool to me. And there's like 1 or 2 surgeons in the nation that does it, and it's in California, which is not the state I live in, so I don't even know that my insurance would cover it. But also, I don't know that the sensation would still be there, and I have plenty of feelings about how I lost sensation when I had my top surgery, and so I don't want to risk it, to be honest. So I'm in general frustrated with the current options. So I'm going with like the most cautious option that will give me some outcomes, and still wishing that there were more options. So now I'm going to focus on gratitude and good things because I don't want to end on that downer. So I'm really grateful that my hysterectomy is done. I'm so grateful my top surgery is done. When I went with my wife to have her breast augmentation and body contouring, this is like the 4th time our family has seen the surgeon. I think she's had 3 procedures with him, and I've had my top surgery with him. I was able to show him my chest and be like, look, isn't this like so cool? Like, look at how these scars have progressed after over a year since this procedure. Like, look at how, as I've been taking testosterone, like my body hair has filled in, covered this space, and how like everything looks now. And so the surgeon said it's very rare for him to get, more than just a 3-month post-op photos, because patients don't come back usually again. But because our family is trans for trans, and we're in and out of that door a lot, the staff know us, so we walk in now. There's just a cool opportunity to actually get those pictures. So I was able to let the surgeon take photos of me post-op, however much later. And he was like really proud of his work. And I was like, yeah. And I will say, I do think that I have some of the best top surgery outcomes that I've seen of a lot of the post-op top surgery folks. I am really happy with my results, like making sure that I got the lipo in the underarm over here spot, so that this is all very smooth and masculinized all the way through, and I don't have this like dangling bit of fat on the side, is so nice for me. So, and I I finally have my range of motion back. It took a long time. Like I can reach for stuff on the top shelf. It took a long time to get that last little inch of reach. So that's healed up. The last thing I wanted to share today is a bit about gender federation because I started this like stream team thing. It's not a formal stream team on Twitch because no one who's involved in it is a Twitch partner. But if anyone is a Twitch partner and wants to help with that, let me know. We can do it. But I started Gender Federation, which is a stream team that does direct mutual aid for trans people seeking surgeries. And we had our first event. It was very thrown together, very last minute. And we managed to raise over $3,600 in a 23-hour event, plus like the time leading up to it and promotion. And like, that was so cool. That was so amazing. And I love that this dream that I've had of Gender Federation for over like a year and a half now, like we're finally doing it. We're doing the thing. It's functioning as expected. We've picked our second recipient and we're starting very initial processes of organizing the event. It's an indigenous tattoo artist based out of Texas. And so I love that we're able to do this work now. And it's very, it's exciting to me to be able to pass on the joy that I feel at having my body transformed surgically onto others. So anyways, that is my check-in for today. Thank you for listening. I know it was very long.